is enough said.
What's up, Heat Nation? Your boy Ernest here. Back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Guys, don't forget to show some support for the channel. Click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe because we are rocking and rolling to 6,000 subscribers. And together, let's go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. Now, before we get to today's topic, you guys, the Miami Heat do have a game tonight against the Atlanta Hawks. It's the second game that we're playing against Atlanta. We lost to them the last game. This time the game is on our home court. Now this Miami Heat team have been bleeding lately. We've lost 6 out of the last 7 games. We're sitting at a 26-30 record as the 9th seed. The Miami Heat are 4 games above the Chicago Bulls for the 10th seed and 5.5 games above the Brooklyn Nets for the 11th seed. So a lot of people that are calling for the Miami Heat to tank, to get better draft positioning, it's going to be pretty difficult because you got to lose a lot of games. Now, the Miami Heat, I want to clarify one thing, you guys. The Miami Heat can still potentially get in the draft lottery, even if you're a play-in team. I do want to explain something because a lot of questions have been answered. How do you get in the draft lottery? If you, how does this really go? Now, here's the way that it pretty much goes. You get into the draft lottery if you do not make the playoffs. So, if you're the 10th seed, technically you're supposed to be in the draft lottery. But a few years ago, the NBA designed the play-in tournament. So from seed 7 to 10, you have a shot to grab those final 2 spots in the playoffs. So if you're the 10th seed and you end up beating out the other teams in the 2 games, and let's say you get the 8th seed, then you're no longer a draft lottery team. So let's say if the Miami Heat stay with the 9th seed, they win those 2 games, they get in the play-in tournament, and they get in as an 8th seed like last year, then they will not be in the draft lottery. Their draft pick will go to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the protection will be lifted for next season. So the Miami Heat will have their draft pick for 2026 and 2028 if they make the playoffs. Now, technically, if they're the 9th seed and they make the playoffs by winning the play-in tournament, they're not going to keep the draft lottery, even though technically they have a bottom 14 record. Get it? Now, let's say if the Heat go up to the 7th seed, go into the play-in tournament and lose those 2 games. Now they're knocked out of the playoffs and they will become a lottery team and they will keep their 2025 pick. So if you have any questions about that, let me know in the comments. But that basically is how it works with this whole play-in structure. I'm only explaining it because I'm seeing a lot of people on different channels not really understanding how this works. And I wanted to break it down for you guys to make it as simple as possible. Now, we've been doing bad lately. Like I mentioned earlier, you guys, the Miami Heat have lost 6 of their last 7 games. We went on a 4-game losing streak. You win against Toronto in a double overtime, and then you've lost your last 2. Now, you got Atlanta tonight. I'm pretty sure the Miami Heat can get the dub on this game. It's on their home floor, but the way we've been playing lately, you guys, I'm not guaranteeing victory in any of these games. And a big reason why is because this has all happened because of the trade of Jimmy Butler. Ever since the Miami Heat have traded Jimmy Butler, we've gone 1-6. While Jimmy Butler in the Golden State Warriors, they've gone 7-1 since that trade. So you look at that as a Miami Heat fan and you kind of think, was it a mistake trading for Jimmy Butler? Now, I did mention in my previous video, you guys, I don't think it was a mistake trading Jimmy Butler. Because at the end of the day, that relationship was broken between Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler. Who's to blame? That's neither here nor there. Everybody's going to have their own opinion. But one thing that Jimmy Butler did say that I want to talk about, he recently said that the Golden State Warriors are the best organization that he's played for. This was reported by Shams Charania with ESPN, and I want to read this quote. Jimmy Butler does feel like this organization is better than any other organization he's been a part of. But I'm telling you, it's different this time. I haven't sensed the same feeling he had when he went to Philly, when he went to Miami. This is different for Jimmy Butler going to Golden State. He's staying late for shoot-arounds. He's staying late for practices. He's spending so much time in the training room, the meal room. He's going above and beyond to integrate himself with the Warriors right now, Charania said. Because as we all know, the fifth marriage is the one that works. Now, Jimmy Butler also told Marcus Thompson and Sam Amick from Bleacher Report after the road win against the Kings the other day on Friday, that his fit in the Bay Area is due to his clearly defined role on his new team. Now, this is what Jimmy Butler said. I see my role clearer than ever, and that's the thing. Here, everybody knows their roles, and they know where the ball is supposed to go. At what time in the game, and that's a huge difference maker. Ain't nobody fighting for shots. Ain't nobody doing none of that. You get the ball where it needs to go in the fourth quarter. You slow the ball down. Take good shots. Take care of the ball. And that's what it takes to win in this league at a high level. They've done it a shit ton of times. This is what I'm trying to do in the past X amount of years. End quote. That's the funny part. This is what I've been trying to do in the past X amount of years. That's funny. Because what's the one thing that we were clamoring for after the 2020 bubble run? Put that superstar caliber player next to Jimmy Butler. We all know that Jimmy Butler, in reality, is a Scottie Pippen type of player. At times, you see him put his Batman cape on and dominate like Superman. But he is a Scottie Pippen player. One of the best two-way players in the NBA, can score at will. He's exactly a fit of Scottie Pippen. Now, you saw Scottie Pippen lead the Chicago Bulls in the 1994 playoffs, but only to the second round in 7 games. You saw Jimmy Butler lead the Miami Heat to 3 Eastern Conference Finals, 2 NBA championships, but 0 rings. Now you're seeing what Jimmy Butler can do when he's with a superstar. Look at Steph Curry's numbers before Jimmy Butler went to Golden State. He was averaging about 22 points a game. Now with Jimmy Butler in the Golden State Warriors, barring last night's game against Charlotte because they blew them out so the starters didn't really play, but before the Charlotte game, Steph Curry was averaging about 29 points a game after the Jimmy Butler trade. Jimmy Butler is the perfect complementary number 2 player next to a superstar. And that's exactly what the Miami Heat were dying for. That's exactly what the Miami Heat fans were begging for. Get that guy next to Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. You were dangling Tyler Hero as a trade piece for years. Couldn't get it done. Damian Lillard in the 2023 offseason specifically said, trade me to the Miami Heat. If you trade me anywhere else, I will not go there. It was a platter presented to the Miami Heat. And this was after the 2023 NBA Finals run, where you saw that Jimmy Butler ran out of gas by the time they got in the NBA Finals, dealing with his father's cancer issue. You saw that at that time in the NBA Finals, what the Miami Heat needed was a scorer, was a guy that you can give the ball to next to Jimmy and say dominate. You know what you had in Bam Adebayo in that run. He wasn't a number 2. He was a Horace Grant type of player, the perfect number 3 option. You needed that guy next to Jimmy Butler. The Heat didn't try hard enough in my opinion. You were offering Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and future first-round draft picks for Damian Lillard. Portland said no. We have Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe. We just drafted Scoot Henderson. We have no room for Tyler Hero. I know that Portland wanted more. They wanted Jovic, Jaime Jaquez, another team to come in to take Tyler Hero to add more draft picks. And Dan Le Batard reported at the time that Pat Riley was like, no, this is the offer. This is what you're going to get. Take it or leave it. Portland left it. And they went with something different because Damian Lillard did not stick to his guns. Damian Lillard first said Miami or bust. Portland said we're not sending you there. We're going to make this awkward, come into training camp. And instead of Damian Lillard making it awkward, he told Portland, fine. If you can't send me to Miami, send me to Milwaukee or Brooklyn. And bam, the trade to Milwaukee was done. So who do you blame? Was it Pat Riley's fault? Was it Damian Lillard's fault for not being more aggressive, kind of like James Harden? James Harden knows how to get himself where he wants to go. Damian Lillard wasn't really willing to do that. So you could blame Pat Riley because you could say, Pat, come on. It's Damian Lillard. Jimmy Butler's championship run window is coming to a close. Do what you need to do to get him the help. Jaime Jaquez and Nikola Jovic are not Damian Lillard. But at the end of the day, we've even said it the last couple of years, maybe it was right for the Heat to not trade for Dame because you saw Tyler Hero getting better. You saw Jaime Jaquez last year. Nikola Jovic is upgrading. These are 3 players that you can build with in the future. So perspective is reality a lot of times, you guys. What do you believe was the right decision? Trading for Damian Lillard and going all in for the championship last year, or continue these building blocks for the future? By not trading for Damian Lillard and not adding the superstar player next to Jimmy Butler, it hampered us because we were no longer the championship threat. Boston Celtics, the team that we beat in the 2023 playoffs, loaded up, while the Miami Heat just added Josh Richardson, Thomas Bryant, and drafted Jaime Jaquez Jr. You knew that was a recipe for disaster. Now, guys, I'm a Miami Heat lifer. I've been a Miami Heat fan since I was a little boy. I've seen every generation. I started watching this team the first year that Pat Riley was the coach. I've seen all the ups and downs. I was there when we had those heartbreakers against New York. I was there when Zoe had the kidney disease. I was there in those 2 trash seasons before we drafted Dwayne Wade. I was there when we won our first championship. I was there when we had those bad years with Wade, when we got LeBron and Bosh with the Big 3 era, and with Bosh went down with the kidney disease and the whole Hassan Whiteside era, training for Jimmy Butler. I was there for everything, you guys. So I have been bread and buttered to stick with Pat Riley. But I'm going to be honest, you guys, the last few years, the man hasn't done what he's needed to do. And now, with Jimmy Butler gone and traded, this championship window has officially closed. So what are we going to do? You could tank, and you can get your 2 first round draft picks for the 2025 draft and retool, not rebuild, retool. You can get 2 players in this draft that can help you contend. But there's one thing this Miami Heat team needs. That superstar player. That dog. Is it going to be John Morant? Is it going to be Luka Doncic if he doesn't re-sign with the Lakers? Is it going to be De'Aaron Fox if he doesn't re-sign with San Antonio? What's going to happen? So Heat Nation, we got a game coming up. March 25th. Jimmy Butler returns to Miami to play against the Miami Heat. That game has been picked up by TNT. It's going to be a big game. It's going to be a fight. Chances are, Jimmy Butler's going to bust our ass. But it's going to be interesting to see. So Heat Nation, I want to hear from you guys. Do you feel that it was a mistake trading Jimmy Butler? Do you feel that Pat Riley was the one that basically made this huge mistake by not adding the superstar talent player next to Jimmy Butler and making those comments last offseason telling Jimmy Butler to shut up and play? Let me know. Or do you guys agree with the Miami Heat? Because let's be real, you guys. I mean, I understand what Jimmy wanted. He wanted a contract extension, a max contract extension. And look, right now, it looks great for Golden State. It looks smart for them. You're seeing all these channels that are like, wow, the Golden State Warriors traded for Jimmy Butler. What a smart move from Golden State. Remember, you guys, they gave him a 2-year maximum extension. So they're going to be paying him until his 37th and 38th year. The Heat did not want to put themselves in that Kyle Lowry hole that they did. They gave Kyle Lowry a 3-year contract at 35 years old. And it bit them in the ass. I'm not doubting what Jimmy Butler could have done this season. I know that Jimmy Butler was still in his prime. The thing that I was questioning was giving a guy who's 35 years old a maximum contract who doesn't even give it his all during the regular season. I kind of agreed with Miami. Let's see what happens this year. Play hard. Let's see what you can do with the team this season, and we'll talk about an extension this offseason. Nope, Jimmy wanted his money now. or he wasn't willing to play. And that's what we saw. He was probably giving it all in the beginning of the season. You saw that game against the Detroit Pistons where he gave you 30 points, 35 points, 19 rebounds. He was showing Miami, I'm still ready. Give me the extension. Miami didn't give it. And he's like, that's it. I'm done. I've lost my joy. So Heat Nation, let me know. Do you think it was a mistake trading Jimmy Butler? Do you think it was a mistake for Pat Riley not going all in for Damian Lillard? Or do you side with the Miami Heat? Do you think, hey, the Heat tried. The Heat did what they could. But at the end of the day, it takes two teams to tangle. Portland wasn't willing to tangle, and it is what it is. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe because we're pushing to 6,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. And until next time, your boy Ernest out, and that is enough said.